Imagine a workplace where every safety task is clear, every responsibility is visible, and no one ever says, "I thought someone else was doing it." That level of clarity is not luck. It is created through a powerful tool called the RACI Matrix. And in today's video, we are going to break it down in a way that even a complete beginner can understand. So stay with me till the end, because this single tool can transform the way you manage HSE, risk controls, and compliance in your workplace. Welcome to Workplace HSE Explained. In this 4-part masterclass, we will explore what the RACI Matrix is, why it is essential in safety management, and how it strengthens risk control standards. By the end of this video, you will be able to build your own RACI Matrix and apply it to any safety process, from incident investigation to permit-to-work systems. Let's start with the basics. RACI is an acronym that stands for Responsible, Accountable, Consulted, and Informed. It is a simple chart that tells you exactly who does what in a process. Think of it as a map of responsibilities. When used correctly, it eliminates confusion, prevents delays, and ensures that every safety control has an owner. Now let's break down each element. Responsible means the person who actually performs the task. They are the doers. Accountable means the person who owns the outcome. They ensure the task is completed correctly. Consulted refers to people who provide input or expertise. They are usually subject matter experts. Informed means people who need updates, but are not directly involved in the task. In HSE management, this clarity is critical. Many incidents occur not because controls were missing, but because responsibilities were unclear. For example, who ensures machine guarding inspections are done? Who signs off the risk assessment? Who updates the emergency plan? Without clarity, tasks fall through the cracks. The RACI Matrix solves this problem by assigning roles to every step of the safety process. It becomes a visual tool that shows who is responsible for hazard identification, who is accountable for implementing controls, who must be consulted during change management, and who must be informed during incident reporting. In risk control standards, RACI helps ensure that every control measure has a clear owner. Whether it is engineering controls, administrative controls, or PPE management, the matrix ensures that responsibilities are not duplicated or forgotten. It also prevents overlap, which is a common issue in large organizations. In the next part, we will explore how RACI is built, how to map tasks, and how to apply it to real HSE processes like risk assessments, toolbox talks, and emergency response planning. Stay tuned, because the practical examples will make everything crystal clear. Now that you understand the foundation of the RACI Matrix, let's move deeper into how it is actually built. This part is extremely important because most organizations know the concept but fail during implementation. And the reason is simple. They do not follow a structured method to map tasks and assign roles. So in this section, we will break down the exact steps to create a RACI Matrix that works in real HSE environments. The first step is identifying the process. You cannot build a RACI Matrix in isolation. You must choose a specific safety process, such as risk assessment, incident investigation, permit to work, confined space entry, machine guarding inspection, or emergency response. The matrix becomes meaningful only when it is tied to a real workflow. The second step is listing all tasks in that process. This is where most people make mistakes. They either list too few tasks or too many. The goal is to capture every step that influences safety outcomes. For example, in a risk assessment process, tasks may include hazard identification, risk scoring, control selection, documentation, approval, communication, and review. Each of these steps needs a role assigned. The third step is identifying all stakeholders. These are the people involved in the process. In HSE, stakeholders may include safety officers, supervisors, engineers, operators, contractors, maintenance teams, HR, and top management. The RACI matrix works only when all relevant roles are included. The fourth step is assigning R, A, C, and I to each task. Responsible is the person who performs the task. Accountable is the person who owns the result. Consulted are experts who provide input. Informed are people who need updates. The key rule is that every task must have exactly one accountable person. Multiple responsible persons are allowed, but accountability must be singular. Let's take a simple example. Imagine a machine guarding inspection. The responsible person may be the maintenance technician. The accountable person may be the maintenance manager. The consulted group may include the safety officer. The informed group may include the production supervisor. This clarity ensures that inspections are never missed. Another example is incident investigation. The responsible person may be the safety officer. The accountable person may be the HSE manager. Consulted may include witnesses, technical experts, and supervisors. Informed may include HR, legal teams, and senior management. With this structure, investigations become faster and more accurate. In the next part, we will explore how RACI strengthens risk control standards, prevents failures, and ensures compliance with ISO 45001, OSHA guidelines, and internal safety procedures. Stay with me because the next section connects everything to real-world risk control performance. In this part, we will connect the RACI matrix directly to risk control standards and show how it strengthens every layer of safety management. Many organizations have beautifully written procedures, detailed risk assessments, and long checklists, yet incidents still occur. The missing link is not the absence of controls, but the absence of ownership. And this is exactly where the RACI matrix becomes a game changer. Let's begin with the hierarchy of controls. Engineering controls, administrative controls, and PPE are only effective when someone is responsible for maintaining them. For example, a machine guard is an engineering control, but who ensures it is inspected? Who ensures damaged guards are replaced? Who ensures operators are trained? Without clear roles, even the strongest controls fail. RACI assigns ownership to each step, ensuring controls remain functional. Now let's look at risk assessments. A risk assessment is not just a document, it is a living process. Hazards must be identified, risks must be scored, controls must be selected, and actions must be implemented. If responsibilities are unclear, the assessment becomes a paper exercise. With RACI, every step has a defined owner. The responsible person identifies hazards. The accountable person approves the assessment. Consulted experts validate technical risks. Informed stakeholders receive updates. This structure ensures the assessment is not just created, but actually implemented. RACI also strengthens emergency response planning. During emergencies, confusion kills. If people do not know their roles, response becomes chaotic. With RACI, every emergency action has a clear owner. The responsible person activates alarms. The accountable person oversees evacuation. Consulted experts provide guidance on chemical spills or fire behavior. Informed groups receive communication updates. This clarity reduces panic and increases response efficiency. Another area where RACI adds value is contractor management. Contractors often work independently, and unclear responsibilities lead to gaps. RACI ensures that supervisors, safety officers, and contractors know exactly who is responsible for induction, supervision, permit issuance, and monitoring. This prevents misunderstandings and strengthens compliance. RACI also supports ISO 45001 requirements. The standard emphasizes leadership, worker participation, communication, and operational control. RACI aligns perfectly with these requirements by defining roles, improving communication, and ensuring accountability. It also supports OSHA guidelines by clarifying responsibilities for inspections, training, hazard control, and incident reporting. Let's take a real example. Imagine a chemical storage area. Controls include ventilation, segregation, labeling, spill kits, and inspections. Without RACI, these tasks may be performed inconsistently. With RACI, the responsible person performs inspections, the accountable person ensures compliance, consulted experts validate chemical compatibility, and informed groups receive updates. This structure ensures controls are maintained continuously. In the next part, we will explore how to implement RACI across your organization, how to avoid common mistakes, and how to use RACI to improve safety culture. We will also close the video with a strong outro that reinforces learning and encourages action. In this final part, let's focus on how to implement the RACI Matrix across your organization and make it a living tool rather than a one-time document. Many companies create a RACI chart and forget about it. The real value comes when the matrix becomes part of daily operations, audits, training, and safety communication. So let's break down the practical steps to make RACI truly effective. The first step is communication. Once the RACI matrix is created, it must be shared with everyone involved. People need to know their roles clearly. A responsible person must understand what tasks they perform. An accountable person must understand what outcomes they own. Consulted experts must know when their input is required. Informed groups must know what updates they will receive. Without communication, even a perfect RACI fails. The second step is integration. RACI should be embedded into procedures, SOPs, risk assessments, and training modules. For example, when you conduct a risk assessment workshop, show the RACI chart. When you train workers on emergency response, show who is responsible for each action. When you conduct audits, verify whether responsibilities match the RACI matrix. This integration ensures consistency. The third step is review. Responsibilities change over time. People move to new roles, new equipment is installed, new hazards appear, and new processes are introduced. The RACI matrix must be reviewed periodically to ensure it reflects current operations. A good practice is to review it during management meetings, audits, or after incidents. If a failure occurs due to unclear roles, update the matrix immediately. Now let's look at common mistakes. The first mistake is assigning too many responsible persons. When everyone is responsible, no one is responsible. The second mistake is unclear accountability. Every task must have exactly one accountable person. The third mistake is ignoring consulted experts. Their input is essential for technical accuracy. The fourth mistake is forgetting informed groups. Communication gaps often lead to confusion and delays. Another mistake is creating a RACI matrix that is too complex. The goal is clarity, not confusion. Keep the chart simple, readable, and focused on key tasks. A matrix with hundreds of rows becomes useless. Focus on critical safety tasks that influence risk control performance. Now, let's connect RACI to safety culture. When roles are clear, people feel confident. When accountability is visible, leadership becomes stronger. When communication flows smoothly, trust increases. When experts are consulted, decisions improve. When stakeholders are informed, transparency grows. All these elements strengthen safety culture and reduce incidents. RACI also empowers frontline workers. When they know exactly what they are responsible for, they take ownership. When they know who is accountable, they know where to escalate issues. When they know who to consult, they avoid guesswork. This clarity reduces stress and improves performance. Before we close, let's look at a simple example of cultural impact. Imagine a workplace where a near miss occurs. Without RACI, people may argue about who should report it, who should investigate it, and who should implement corrective actions. With RACI, the responsible person reports it. the accountable person leads the investigation, consulted experts provide input, and informed groups receive updates. The process becomes smooth, fast, and effective. Now let's end this video with a strong outro. The RACI Matrix is not just a chart, it is a foundation for clarity, accountability, and strong risk control. When implemented correctly, it eliminates confusion, strengthens compliance, and builds a proactive safety culture. If you want your workplace to run smoothly, if you want your controls to work consistently, and if you want your safety processes to be reliable, RACI is the tool you must adopt. Thank you for watching Workplace HSE Explained. If you found this masterclass valuable, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us create more powerful safety content that transforms workplaces. Stay safe, stay informed, and keep building a stronger safety culture every day.